In today video lecture, we will discuss another carbohydrate, that is polysaccharide. Right. So polysaccharide means here there are more than 10 monosaccharides units. More than 10 monosaccharide units together form polysaccharides. Here this polysaccharide are also known as glycons. Here we have two types of polysaccharides. One is homopolysaccharides, and another type heteropolysaccharide. Here homopolysaccharide also known as homo, and here heteropolysaccharide also known as hetero. So what exactly homopolysaccharide? Here homopolysaccharide means the polymer of same repeating monosaccharide units, in which polymer of same repeating units of monosaccharide. So in which same repeating units of monosaccharides together form homopolysaccharide. But in heteropolysaccharide, which is polymer of different repeating units of monosaccharide, here different repeating units of mono. So in hetero we have different units of monosaccharides, and in homopolymer we have same repeating units of polymers. So like that we have two different types of polysaccharide. Now coming to homopolysaccharide, here this homopolysaccharide again divided into two types. So they are storage homo and structural homopolysaccharide. So in storage homopolysaccharide, mainly which include various types of storage homopolysaccharides, like which includes starch and which include glycogen, and also it include inulin, not insulin, here inulin. Now coming to here, in structural homopolysaccharide, which mainly include cellulose, and also it include chitin, and also it include callose. So these are the important structural homopolysaccharide. So we will discuss in detail the importance of storage homopolysaccharide and structural homopolysaccharide. Now coming to starch, here starch is mainly formed by polymer of alpha D glucose. So here same repeating units of monosaccharide, that is alpha D glucose. Group of means polymer of alpha D glucose together form starch, and there is a bond between alpha D glucose of monosaccharides. So that bond is called alpha comma 4 glycosidic bond, and one more bond will also form alpha 1 comma 6 glycosidic bond. So by these two bonds which make together form a homopolysaccharide, that is starch. Now coming to importance of starch here. So generally we know that starch is a storehouse of energy in the plant tissue. It is a storehouse of energy. So the energy which is stored in the form of ATP in plant cell, very important. Okay, do you know? So this starch, here I am writing this starch which give blue color with iodine test, very important. The starch which give blue color, here I am writing, yeah. So the starch give blue color with iodine test, very important. Starch only. Okay, next here glycogen. So here glycogen is formed by polymer of, it is also polymer of alpha D glucose. It is also formed by polymer of alpha. So there are various group of alpha D glucose monosaccharide units together form glycogen. But this glycogen is a storehouse of energy in animal cell or animal tissues. It is a storehouse of energy. Remember, the store energy will store in the form of ATP. Okay, so in animal cell or animal tissues, generally which is stored in muscle cell, is glycogen stored in muscle and liver. Okay, and now coming to inulin. About inulin, so inulin is a polymer of beta D fructose, very important. Inulin is a polymer of beta D. Here fructose is a monosaccharide. There are group of beta D fructose units together form this inulin. And do you know this inulin often used in kidney function, which often used in diagnostic for to know the kidney function. And remember, note here, inulin is completely different from insulin. You know that about insulin here. So here I am writing. Insulin is a hormone. Insulin is a pancreatic hormone which is secreted from the beta cells of pancreas, and which helps to convert excess glucose into glycogen. But here inulin is a carbohydrate, that is polymer of beta D fructose, which is often used in kidney function. So these are our various types of storage homo. Now we will move on second and most important structural homopolysaccharide, that is cellulose and chitin and cellulose. Yeah. So here cellulose, you know that cellulose is a which is formed by polymer of beta D glucose. Very important. So here starch formed by polymer of alpha D glucose, but this cellulose formed by beta D glucose. It is a polymer of, here I am writing, it is a polymer of beta D glucose. So there are various beta D glucose monosaccharide units together form this cellulose, beta D polymer. Do you know it is a structural component of plant cell wall? So the hence which is made the structural component of plant cell wall, which is seen in plant cell wall. So here one important note regarding to cellulose. The cellulose does not give blue color. So here I am writing does not give blue color. Very important. It does not give blue color with iodine test. Does not give blue color with iodine test. Remember cellulose. But here starch gives blue color with iodine test. But here cellulose does not give blue color with iodine test. Now coming to chitin. Here I am writing about chitin. So chitin is also type of structural homopolysaccharide. So this chitin which is formed by polymer of beta D NAG, very important, which is formed by beta D NAG structures. Here NAG means N-acetyl glucosamine structure. Here I am writing N. It is a type of amino sugar. Glucosamine. It is a type of amino sugar. And here this chitin formed by polymer of beta D. Various repeated beta D NAG polymers units are together form this chitin. Generally, this chitin is a structural component of cell wall in fungi cell. It is a structural component of fungi cell wall. Fungi cell wall, and not only structural component of fungi cell wall, but also it is present exoskeleton of arthropods. Exoskeleton of arthropods. Exoskeleton of arthropods. Important. So where we have seen this chitin means fungi cell wall and exoskeleton of arthropod means which include insects like that. So here arthropod is the largest phylum in animal kingdom, and this chitin which is formed by a bond called beta 1 comma 4 glycosidic bond. Remember, beta 1 comma 4 glycosidic bond will form, and here also this cellulose also formed by beta, here beta bonds between glucose will form this cellulose. Like chitin also formed like same beta D 1 comma 4 glycosidic bond. But here the differences is here polymer of chitin is a polymer of what? It is a polymer of beta D, but cellulose is a polymer of beta D glucose. But starch is a polymer of alpha D glucose. Remember all these things. Okay. Now coming to cellulose, very important. So generally this cellulose, here I am writing about cellulose. So cellulose is also structural homopolysaccharide. This cellulose generally known as phloem plug. So which is seen in phloem plug, and this is a it is a polymer of beta D glucose. Same here. All these heterostructural homopolysaccharides mostly they are made up of with beta D glucose, but here cellulose and chitin both are made up of with 1 comma 4 glycosidic bond. But here this cellulose is a polymer of beta bond. Remember, very important. Cellulose is made up of by polymer of beta 1 comma 3 bonds. Okay. So remember all these are the importance of homopolysaccharide and their types. Now we move on. Heteros are also called heteroglycans. Okay. So second type of polysaccharide, that is heteropolysaccharide. Hetero. So this heteropolysaccharide also known as hetero. So this heteropolysaccharide generally which is made up of with polymer of different repeating units of monosaccharide. Which is made up of with polymer of different repeating units of mono. So in homopolysaccharide same unit, but here in hetero means different repeating units of monosaccharides together form hetero. So here we have few example of heteropolysaccharides. Let's we discuss. Yeah. So best example here. First one, peptidoglycan. So this peptidoglycan which is mainly made up of with polymer of NAG and NAM. Here NAG means N-acetyl glucosamine and N-acetyl muramic acid. Here I am writing NAG means N-acetyl glucosamine and NAM means N-casein. So these are the amino sugar, muramic acid. So by NAG and repeating units of NAG and NAM of polymers together form this peptidoglycan. See, this peptidoglycan generally seen in cell wall of bacteria, very important, which is present in bacterial cell wall. So bacterial cell wall generally made up of with this peptidoglycan, and this peptidoglycan chemically which is made up of by polymer of NAG and NAM. Okay, and now coming to second type here. Second type of heteropolysaccharide example is here I'm ready. That is hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acids. So this hyaluronic acid generally which is made up of with two different monosaccharide units. So they are gluconic acid here, glucuronic acid, and plus NAG, N-acetyl glucosamine. So these two different polymer of different repeating units of these two monosaccharide units together form this hyaluronic acid. One is glucuronic acid, second one is NAG, N-acetyl glucosamine. And here this hyaluronic acids which is generally seen in joints. So in joints especially which is seen in synovial fluid. So the synovial fluid nothing but the fluid which is present between joints. So where it present joint, synovial joint. Generally which is we see this fluid in synovial joint. For example here, for example if you have bone here, another bone. So there is a gap between two bones. This gap is nothing but joints. So this which type of joints here we have synovial joints. In synovial joint, this space, the empty space which is filled with a fluid like this. So this joint, so this fluid, now this fluid called synovial fluid, and this synovial fluid is contain one important heteropolysaccharide, that is hyaluronic acid. Very important, hyaluronic acids. So here where we have seen this hyaluronic acid means in synovial fluid of synovial joints. Okay, right. And remember, yes, so this is second one. And third one here, third example for heteropolysaccharide, that is heparin. Very important, heparin. So heparin is a polymer of glucuronic acid and glucosamine. Here it is a polymer of two different repeating monosaccharide units. They are glucuronic acid and glucosamine. Glucuronic acid and glucosamine is a both are a different polymers of this glucuronic acid and glucosamine together form heparin. Do you know this heparin is act as an anticoagulant factor? Very important. Anti factor. So here blood anticoagulant factor. Blood anticoagulant factor is heparin. It means that which prevent blood clotting in blood vessels. Which prevent blood clotting in blood vessels. Blood clotting in blood vessels. So that heparin is nothing but heteropoly. Okay. Now we move on another important heteropolysaccharide. Yes. So fourth best example for heteropolysaccharide here agar and agar. So generally this agar which is obtained from red algae. So here red algae means rhodomember. So like include like Gracilaria red algae or Gelidium red algae like that, from which we obtain this agar heteropolysaccharide. And this agar which is generally which is formed by polymer of here. It is a polymer of D and alpha galactose. Sorry, not alpha, L galactose. So D galactose and L galactose of monosaccharide units together form this agar and agar. So this agar generally which is used as a solidifying agent for culture media. Used as solidifying agent for culture media. So during culture media preparation we use this agar for solidification. Okay, this is about agar. And one more last example for heteropolysaccharide, that is hemicellulose. So don't confuse, cellulose is a homopolysaccharide. In structural homopolysaccharide. But here hemicellulose is a heteropolysaccharide. Remember. And this hemicellulose, and which is the polymer of which is made up of it is a polymer of three different monosaccharide units, like which is made up of with xylose monosaccharide, and also which is made up of with arabinose monosaccharide, and also which is made up of with galactose monosaccharide, galactose. So like that there are three different monosaccharide units together form this hemicellulose. Okay, and generally this hemicellulose which are it is a structural component or which is mainly present at the cell wall of matrix or plant cell matrix, which is present at the plant cell matrix. Okay, so these are the various different types of heteropolysaccharide. So peptidoglycan we discuss, and also we discuss hyaluronic acid and heparin and agar, and fifth one is hemicellulose. Okay, yeah. So here some important notes. non-polysaccharide. Do you know here right end of the polysaccharide? Here one is right end of the polysaccharide chain is called reducing end. Reducing. So remember like R. So while left end of the polysaccharide chain, left end of the polysaccharide chain is called non-end. Okay. So for example, if you have one important polysaccharide, for example, here we have, if you take example for starch, so it is made up of with polymer of alpha D glucose. For example, here we have one alpha D glucose. Like that, we have different monosaccharide units, no, like 6, 7, like that. So all are alpha D glucose units. So like that, we have a chain of like a polymer of starch or any polysaccharides, in which in this chain the right end of the this right end of the poly chain is known to be as a reducing end, and this left side of the same polysaccharide chain is called as a non-reducing chain. Remember, so every chain has two ends. Every polysaccharide chain has two ends. Right side end called right reducing end, and left side end called non-reducing end. Remember, very important. And here one more important point you need to remember. So that is, so all polysaccharides give blue color means it is wrong. So here I'm writing statement type. All polysaccharide gives blue color with iodine test. So this statement is false, wrong. So it means that all polysaccharide does not give blue color with iodine test. For example here, so cellulose does not give blue color. Why? Because cellulose itself a polysaccharide, but the cellulose does not give blue color with iodine test. Does not give blue color with iodine test. Hence, this complete all polysaccharide gives blue color with iodine test means this statement is wrong. Why? Because there are some polysaccharide does not give blue color with iodine test. Best example is cellulose. But rest of the most of the polysaccharide gives blue color with iodine test. Remember, cellulose except cellulose does not give blue color with iodine test. Hence, this statement is wrong. So, like that, you need to remember. Okay. So, by this we have completed in-depth information on polysaccharide. So, we have some few highly important NCERT based MCQs. So, here, yeah. So, first MCQ here I have provided. Read here. Insulin is a polymer of which of the following monosaccharide unit? Inulin. So here see giving inulin. Okay, here. Okay. So inulin is a polymer of which of the following monosaccharide units? And what is its clinical significance? So don't confuse. Here asking inulin is a type of homo. Okay, not insulin. So remember, is a polymer of which among the following monosaccharide units? You have to analyze and read. And one more MCQs here I have provided. Second MCQs. Yeah. So which of the following statement regard starch is correct here? Starch. Regarding starch. Correct according to the notes. So here see this one about asking this statement about starch only. So read these four options and analyze it and drop your answer in comment box. Don't forget. And third MCQs here. Yeah. So based on the classification given in the notes, choose the odd one. Here we have to choose odd one out from the group of heteropolysaccharide. So just now we discussed about homopolysaccharide and heteropolysaccharide. Here we have to find out odd one from the group of heteropolysaccharide or heteroglycans like peptidoglycan, hyaluronic acid, heparin and cellulose. We have to find out which among the four options in which one is separate, means one is belongs to the homopolysaccharide. We have to find it. And one more last MCQs from this topic. Yes. So consider the following statement from the notes. Here does not give blue color with iodine test. So we have to find out which are among the following polysaccharide it does not give blue color with iodine test. So this property is characteristic of which of structural polysaccharide? Starch, glycogen, cellulose, amylose. So find out which among the following polysaccharide it does not give blue color with iodine test. Okay. So that's it for today class. So by that we have completed all type of polysaccharide, all type of carbohydrate. So in previous class we discussed monosaccharide. In another class we discussed oligosaccharides. In this class we discuss polysaccharides. So by this we have completed all type of carbohydrate biomolecules. So thank you. Have a nice day.